Hey, William, can you hear me?
Hey, Mark. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Great.
Cool. Fantastic. Hey, nice studio, nice setup. It's a nice
Oh,
angle, nice view.
oh, thanks. It's a
Yeah.
little smaller than I used to have, but everything's getting smaller, I think. Not as much hardware now.
Well, exactly. Well, smaller sometimes means more efficient. Not more efficient, maybe, but it could be more efficient. Less problems, less stuff to deal with.
Yes, yeah. It's definitely gone that way for me. So,
Mm-hmm. Gonna open these. Okay. Cool. Hey, Steve. Good to see you.
Hey, Mark. Good to see you too.
Yeah, open it for you guys. And Tom, let me know if you can hear me. Okay. So can you guys see the screen?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Fantastic. So how's the week? How's the week been for you guys?
Great.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna open the YouTube stream here just to see we're mute real quick. Just gonna put this here. And can open the chat. Cool. Oops, sorry about that. One, two, three. Hey, Fernando, let me know if you can hear me. First time joining. Go around.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Manuel.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, sorry, because I'm outside, so there is
Nice.
not a great signal.
Nice.
Oh boy, yeah, crazy. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Who's,
I
who's
can.
that? Is Andrew?
Andrew, yeah.
Good. Fantastic. Yeah. It's rolling. Manuela, where were you? You're in New York, aren't you?
Yeah, right now I'm in Brooklyn, so
I
I'm just
see.
outside. Look, guys, in this
Nice.
beautiful area. Yeah, so I'm just outside because I was with my wife because she has to go to the doctor, so I'm with
I
her.
see. I
You
see.
know,
Yeah. You
it's
didn't
like
want to miss the chat.
husband duty.
So
Husband
husband
duty.
duty.
Yeah.
You didn't want to miss the chat. Good.
Yeah,
So
sorry about the last two chat. I missed the two chat. Hope to know everything about it because I didn't have a chance to take a look about the last two chat. So sorry about that.
No
I always
problem.
try to be there, but it's not easy.
No problem. It's good that you brought that up. As you know, all the chat gets recording. Best way to find the chat, just come to the Facebook group and come here to the search, and just look for chat, and you'll find the chats here. This is the one with Jamie's face here, last week's, and you just scroll down and you'll find all the other chats. We are thinking about implementing somewhere in the page where we can see. We can see all the chats listed. That'd be great. But for now, we've got them here in Facebook, and best way to find them is just go for a search. That's it. So that's good. Second thing, the chat usually, because there are a few people that joined today that didn't join last in any chat before. So it's good to see you. Good to see you. And chat usually we use them for we use them. It's just like an open forum thing, and you can ask any question or concern. And sometimes though, I get asked before the chat, hey, I've got this problem, or I don't know how to approach that. Can you, or to explain that during the chat? Like I got this video. I saw this video in lesson 3, but I didn't quite understand. Can you expand on that? Okay, so that's good as well. So Fernando, I can see, we can see you. I can see how you wrote. Can you confirm that you can hear us?
Yes. Hi, Mark. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Here is
have you.
evening. Okay, I can hear very well.
Fantastic. Cool. Thanks. Good to have you.
Thank you.
So William, you said that your studio was bigger before, but now you went for a smaller studio. Is that something that you decided on purpose? Did you? What's the reason for that?
I just wanted to consolidate more, and I had a lot of equipment because I was doing a lot of acoustic recording for the projects I was doing, and really have kind of moved away from that and spending most of my time just writing and orchestrating. So with VE Pro and all of the things that go with that, it just just got rid of a lot of equipment and a lot of keyboards that were getting older, and I wasn't really using them that much. And my wife was really happy to see all the cables go, that, thousands and thousands of little cables and audio interfaces. And she doesn't even understand it, but she thinks VE Pro is the greatest thing that's ever happened.
Yeah, I can see why. I
Should walk into my studio and just like run in fear, right?
Totally. Yeah, I can understand that. It's crazy, the first time that you sort of set up VE Pro, how easy it is. I mean, it's not the configuration, it takes a little bit, but then it's just one Ethernet cable, and it's crazy.
Yeah. It's life changing, definitely.
Life changing. Yeah. So, and that's something that happens. I mean, it's so common to have, because we want to have more stuff like in our studio, and generally analog stuff or like the real synth still sounds better, but the difference is so small that when you compare the recallability, of all those, synths, like analog synths or keyboards, or even the hardware units that you've got for like EQing or processing or reverbs, it's the recallability, it's compared to plugins, it's so much easier with plugins, or it's so much easier having VE Pro and having everything else instead of having external keyboard units or hardware units where you have your great samples. It's and sometimes we wanna love them more. We wanna still have the analog or have the keyboard to have the external hardware. But the truth is, it's more a thing that as a musicians, as composers, want to have that really when it comes to composing and being efficient. They don't really help that much. If you talk to the people that actually worked for a while, like a decade in the analog, the ones that carried tape and recorded in 16-channel mixing boards, like stuff like that, where they had to be analog and use cables and routing. We aren't talking that much long ago, like 20 years ago. If you speak to them, they really are like, you like analog, really? Do you like analog? You wouldn't like analog if you had to work 100% analog, and you just speak to the people that worked analog in the past, and they are using all UAD plugins or analog emulation or all the plugins that are out there that it just makes they make like much easier. It just just a preference. But now, when it comes to, once you've got your studio working, and once you've got your sound that you are able to produce professional sounding mock-ups, and now the next step is, okay, and now how can I be efficient? How can I do this faster? Because I guess at the end of the day, our goal is not just to sound good, it's to make money, right? And what happens is, when we sound good, there's 10 other composers that sound as good as we are, and the only difference is gonna be either your professionality, your professionality, as when you get a job, when you say, okay, this is gonna be done by tomorrow, and then it's done by tomorrow. That's super important for you to keep jobs and to keep working with the people that gave you the job in the first time. So the only thing that's gonna separate you from everything else, other than your music and your sound, it's gonna be how fast are you able to produce 2 minutes of orchestral music. And so, having everything in the box, it's gonna definitely, and I'm sure you'll agree, William, it's gonna definitely speed your process up. It's gonna keep you like bugs free in a way as well, clicks and pops, crashes, etc. It's gonna minimize those for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I will admit, though, I've got an addiction for analog synths, and I have to curb it. I did just buy this DeepMind 12 over here, and I have a couple modes that are out on the other side of the room, but I still use them because I like the tacit or the tactile, especially when creating sound design for something. It's sometimes it's just fun to just walk in here in the middle of the night and start twisting knobs.
Totally. Yeah.
But definitely, it's in terms of workflow, it can't be beat doing the stuff inside the box, really. It's just it's a different world, and I've a lot of the emulations I've used, I've had or have some of the hardware gear that's the same as those, and I was just explaining to a friend, it's like the differences are really negligible most of the time. I mean, Bobby Fernandez is going to hear a difference, but I'm not. So,
Yeah.
I don't have those kinds of ears.
Same here. Yeah.
Mark,
Yeah.
sorry,
Manuel, yeah.
I have a question. Because I had a chance to take a look. I don't remember which module is exactly, number 6 or 5, the Sonic Canvas.
Yes.
Okay, and it's not that much clear to me how to set the different type of reverb and the different type of delay, because how you set in the different instrument. So project as a different setup to put long reverb, I don't know, 2 strings, short reverb, to percussion, or there is a specific rules, because I don't know how to set them, because I don't know if I want to put the double bass with a long reverb, the solo with a very narrow short reverb. So you know what I mean. I don't know how to set all the instrument in the different effects. So how usually in the video is just explain, this is the Sonic Canvas. You have to do this one, this one, this one. You put a channel here, and then I don't know who take the long delay, who take the medium delay, who take the short delay. Sorry, the short reverb, we take the long delay, the short delay, and you know what I mean?
Yes, totally. Let me confirm. You are talking about the last mixing module where we expand.
Yeah, exactly.
We talk about this concept, expanding mixing depth. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, expanding mixing depth. Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, this is a great question, and it's to be fair, there is not an answer like it's always gonna be like that. The the ex for those who didn't see the reach that module yet, it's basically, when it comes to mixing, right? When we are composing, we sort of have a template, right? Well, when we are mixing, we could have sort of a template and a set of buses, well, like effects track, um, and just having them there, like several reverbs and several delays that you will use for enhancing mix depth in our mix, and you get there. And but basically that will allow to sort of not having to load those things that we are using over and over again, and to keep our mixes consistent, and definitely mix faster. Now, basically, the setup is you will have several reverbs like short, mid, and long reverb as bass, and then you will have short and long delays, and that will serve different purposes. And this applies more. This will this this setup, this configuration, this like mixing template. It's in a way it's more efficient when we are mixing like hybrid music, because when we are enhancing mixing depth, we may move expanding mixing depth basically means, okay, we will have something that will sound closer, some others that will sound farther away. And what happens is that when we buy a sample library, they already, the sonic space is already there, because the way they record the trumpets and the way they record the timpani, when we load that patch and we don't touch the mic setup, it's gonna sound like they would record it or that section in a in a scoring session. So the Deca tree, which are the mics that are above the conductor, will be farther away than to the trumpets than they would be from the strings, because just the trumpets sound farther away. And obviously, trumpets will have the spot mic, etc., but those are lower in volume. So the effect, the sonic space that if we would close our eyes, that we would perceive if we would close our eyes and sit in front of the orchestra, that sonic space, that depth, it's already there when we load the patches. We can enhance that a little bit more, but when it comes to orchestra, just by loading the patches, the sonic depth is already there because of the way they got produced, the way they got recorded. Now, when it comes to synth, and when we are going for more of a hybrid mock-up, we may have some sounds, some synthetic sounds that that we may want to put farther away in the mix, like let's say like a synth pod or something like that, or we want to have some instruments, some sounds that are closer even than the closest instruments in the orchestra. So that having different reverbs, it's gonna by using reverb length and amount, it's gonna help us moving elements back and forth. And
But sorry,
yeah.
in your opinion, which elements must better fit on the backside and which element in the front? I know it depends of the project, it depends which kind of music are you producing, but I mainly talk about orchestra and synth. Now, when you mix this hybrid sound, where usually you suggest to put the different element? For example, I have the classic, string session plus percussion plus synth. So where I'm gonna put, for example, the timpani, the snare, where I'm gonna put the double bass, is better on the back, is better in the front, how much delay is better. So I just need to figure it out about a general idea, because for me now it doesn't sound very clear.
Okay, let's.
I hope to explain myself. Sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. my suggestion here would be keep it simple, Manuel, because they are already gonna sound like that. You know, they already are gonna sound in the right place. So there's nothing, and I'll give you the answer in a second. There's nothing that we should do to rebalance the position of each instrument, like the sonic position of each instrument. The timpani already is gonna sound where it has to sound because of the way it got recorded. Now, reverbs.
Yeah.
What reverbs do we use for what instruments? And the answer is
Just a general idea.
yeah, general idea. So the short long notes. So we've got two rules. Okay, long notes are gonna accept more and longer reverb than the short notes, and especially like fast, like a car chase scene with the cellos and double basses playing staccato on a staccato line. That will accept less reverb because that's gonna produce muddiness in that area, and we want clarity and definition. So long notes are gonna accept more reverb than short or fast, like fast staccato stuff like that. Short notes. That's rule number one. Rule number two: higher range is gonna accept more reverb than all the stuff in the low end, because we wanna keep that mid-low area. Maybe even not having reverb down there. So in a way, if we would have, for example, violins playing long harmonics, we could add a lot of reverb there, and it would sound great. It would enhance the sound, and it wouldn't conflict with the mix that much. And if we would have, like as we said, car chases scene, staccatos for cellos and double basses, we either add like a very tiny amount of short reverb or not reverb at all, because unless you're using the Vienna ensemble, the Vienna instruments, Vienna symphonic library libraries, like the Vienna strings, stuff like that, where you have to have a reverb because they got recorded in a very dry room and with very close miking techniques. Unless you're using Vienna ensemble instruments or a library that sounds very dry, let's say Les Spring string sounds a little bit dry, but still much more wet than Vienna symphonic library. So generally, again, long notes, high range, more reverb. Short notes, long range, less or no reverb. That would be the general rule that you would apply when you are mixing. Like a trumpet solo, like a slow trumpet solo, that could accept some more reverb. Yeah, go ahead.
But in acoustic, when you have a long reverb, it's supposed that instrument is far from you, right?
Yes.
But
yes.
Sorry. We keep going. Sorry.
The reverb is gonna reposition, yes, as you said, the instruments, and sometimes if you are adding too much reverb to the strings, it's gonna sound like the strings are farther away. Maybe that's the effect that you wanna get at that point. Let's say this is like a trailer track, and you wanna make this sound. It's orchestral sound, right? It is orchestral sound, but it's not realistic orchestral sound. It's not the sound that we would get when we would sit down in a concert hall and listen for, an orchestra performing there. It's like if you'd say, okay, if I'm adding reverb to the high longer strings in that moment, it's not gonna sound realistic. Well, the question is, does Hans Zimmer music or Jablonski's Transformer music, does it sound realistic to you? And the answer is going to be no, it doesn't sound realistic at all. But is that the sound that you want for that specific project, for that specific track? Well, if that's what you want, because it's the producer requires for you to come up with a more modern orchestral sound, then those are the techniques that we are going to use. And some may say, well, that's overproduced. That's too much mixing. That's not realistic. And you're gonna agree with them. Yes, it's not realistic. It's the sound that we are trying to achieve, and we are changing the orchestral positioning of the instruments. But we are doing that on purpose because we want to enhance the orchestral sound, and we've got those long strings that we want to enhance and make them sound bigger, or maybe like them playing in a bigger room, just because that's the sound that we want. So when we are adding reverb, if we want to sound realistic, we could add like an overall reverb to the whole orchestra, and that would be like the old school approach. But if we want to enhance the orchestral sound, that would be the rule that you want to follow. You can add more reverb to long, high range notes, and less or no reverb to the short, low range, part of the arrangement.
Because Mark, because it sounds weird for me, because if I'm a conductor, usually they're extremely close to me. The double bass is a little bit far on the right side from me. Here, that the strings much closer to me have much more reverb than the double bass. That the double bass is much more far. So this one is not clear to me. I don't understand why, but probably this one is the general rules that we use on music, orchestration music, maybe. Sorry about this question, because
no, it's a great question.
Everybody struggles with this, I think. Mark, to piggyback on Manuel's question, one of the problems I think I've encountered many times is trying to push the percussion back a bit in the mix, like timpani or surdo or concert toms or something like that, and yet still keep the impact that you need. And Alan Meyerson talks a lot about how aggressively he mixes percussion for guys like Junkie and Hans. Unfortunately, he doesn't disclose how he manages to get the depth, right? But I mean, that's one of the big questions I have, is how to maintain that depth perspective across what would be more or less a conventional orchestra setting, and yet not lose the impact of those instruments and not have them too much in your face, but still have that power that you want from those kinds of projects.
Totally. Yeah, that's a great question. And the answer to that is that let me see if I can find a picture here that can explain. I'm gonna answer first Manuel's, okay, double basses, first violins. I think this one, let's see, this one is gonna make the this one maybe.
Thank you, Mark.
No problem. It's a great question. Both of them are great questions. The answer to the second one, I can give you. There's a Abbey Road. Let me find Abbey Road. This one, it's. Okay, this is gonna make it, I think. Well, let me. Okay, let's go with this one. Not the best, but the image. Okay, let's just make it. Okay.
I can see you, Mark. I don't know why.
You cannot see me, but can you see the screen?
No. We can see, yeah, the screen, but okay, now I can see you.
Okay, fantastic. That's
Thank you.
on my end. On my end. So, still I could find a better image. One second. No problem. One second here. The one that I liked. Maybe this one. I don't know. Okay, can we see this image, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, gonna be here. So the Decca tree The Deca tree is this mic that's sitting above George Lucas and John Williams. It's right above the conductor. It's a Deca tree that it's got 3 mics. Okay, that it's 3 mics in like a triangle position and separated like a meter and a half away from the center, sort of thing. Okay, so it's a 3 mics, and that mic setup, that the name of Deca tree is because the Decca Records engineer came up with this idea. It was gonna put 3 mics, a couple of meters away from, above from the conductor. This is the position. That mic, that 3 mics set up. That picks up 80% of the final sound. If you would put every other mic and that, and you just have those 3 mics, that's the orchestral sound. Usually it's omnidirectional, omni mics. Well, it's a very specific set of mics there, and that's the orchestral sound. Okay, so
Did we lose Mark?
Seems like it.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
I haven't been able to see anything except for his screenshot.
Yeah, and your video just came back on, Tom.
Yeah, well, I thought it was me, so I refreshed my screen because y'all are all looking like you're looking at something, and I got a black screen.
Me too. That's weird. Can you hear Mark, guys?
I can't hear him, and it looks like his screen is frozen.
Yeah, I think he's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was worried he was thinking really hard there for a second, like, but then he didn't. So. Yeah.
Last time this happened, you posted on the Facebook page about it pretty quickly. Last time it was a blackout.
And watch, he won't be the one that won't be able to get back on.
Yeah, he won't be back. Yeah, he won't be able to get back in the room.
It still has him. He's in the room.
There he is.
Mark?
There he is.
I can't hear you. No.
Mark, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
No.
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 It's,
Sorry.
well, I hope he gets it up and running because those are some excellent questions.
Can you hear us? We lose the sonic dimension, Mark.
I don't know if you can hear us.
I was going to reboot the session.
Maybe it's better.
No sound coming in from his mic.
Anything going on?
I think he's still trying to reboot the session.
Yeah, I just got booted off.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and then I wasn't allowed back in. So I'm trying to like back time. That's it.
Yeah. If he tries to get back in, he won't be able to.
I see.
Oh, he's gonna start a new chat.
Oh, he's going to start a new one?
Yeah, he just posted on the
Maybe
Facebook page.
Just realized I was muted. He's gonna post links on the Facebook page, he says.
All right.
Okay, guys, my phone is almost dead and I'm outside. Could you please tell Mark that I cannot be able to recharge my phone, and I will take a look on the chat after when you finish.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll do it.
Please, really, because it was so nice, really, to answer my question. So probably still need to finish to answer my question. So I don't want to be rude. You know what I mean? Guys, take care. Have a great day. Okay. Have a great day.